Hello and welcome to the September 26th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics and noteworthy news, as it says on our new t-shirts.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
And that's delivered to you every week. I'm your host, Jim Lopez, one of two deputy city managers here at the city, joined today by two members of our podcast team.
Kate Ryan.
And David Wolbrecht.
As well as our special guest, Antionette Smith.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're very excited to have you.
Yes.
Welcome.
We're going to talk about a lot of fun things, including an upcoming health fair, which
Yep.
has so much.
So
It's kind of
much.
like a health fair celebration. And we're excited to hear all about it. But before we do, here are the topics we're covering this week.
A few announcements, including a Houghton Beach update, wrapping up Preparedness Month, and open positions on the Senior Council and Youth Council.
Plus, what's coming up at the City Council, our upcoming Harvest Festival.
Oh, that's going to be a big event.
Very big. Really excited. Also, give input for the Transportation Strategic Plan and some upcoming events.
Yes. And a reminder, of course, that we always have links and more information in the show notes from all of our items. So please take a look at that wonderful resource.
Yes.
And now, my friends, our big story of the week. If you're a local business owner, don't miss the chance to unlock new opportunities.
That's right. So the City of Kirkland, with the Office of Minority and Women's Business Enterprises, is offering certification workshops this fall.
Certifications help you to win bids for state-funded projects and connect with state agencies, local governments, and more. It's a great thing.
A great way to learn about doing business with the city, as well as growing your network. So check it out.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
a lot of good positive energy around these initiatives, and we're trying to grow capacity in the
Yes.
community for these businesses to grow and get these certifications.
Exactly.
Great stuff. Hey, speaking of ways to be involved with the city, the Senior Council and the Youth Council are recruiting for membership.
That's right. If you're passionate about advocating for seniors or youth, well, apply for these opportunities now.
Yeah, so unfortunately, youth applications, they're, got to get it now.
Yeah.
They're due tomorrow, Friday, September 27th. The applications for the Senior Council are open for the entire month of October.
Yeah, and this is another example where those show notes come in really handy because we'll
Real
have the
handy, yep.
application.
Yeah, link right
There you
there.
go.
Check it
If
out.
you're listening, act.
Act now. Friday's coming soon.
Yes.
Hey, Houghton Beach remains closed to water activities for an additional week. That's a bit of a bummer.
Water quality staff from King County recently found elevated bacteria levels in the water.
That's right, which means that people and pets are recommended to stay out of the water, but Houghton Beach Park, the rest of it, does
Yes.
remain open. King County will conduct final water tests next week as the testing season wraps
Yeah.
up. So fingers crossed.
Okay, we'll keep our fingers crossed that our beautiful beaches can be open for everything.
Yes,
soon.
there you go.
Yeah. So mark your calendars for the 4th annual Harvest Festival. This is a big event.
It is
Yeah.
a huge event. So we got live music, artisan food, fun activities for the kids, including a visit. Oh, Gwendolyn the cow is back. I
There you go.
didn't know Gwendolyn was coming
The
back.
star is in the house.
Oh gosh, it's a perfect way to welcome fall.
Yeah.
Yep, and that will be at Juanita Beach Park on Saturday, October 5th from 11 to 4 for all those fun fall festivities.
Juanita Beach Park will be hopping.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Including an appearance by Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn.
Yeah, yes. Very nice.
We need to get Gwendolyn on the show. It will be.
That was
I'm
pretty good,
telling you,
Anthony.
it
That
will be-
was.
it
Been
will be an
practicing that,
attraction. Yes. So the next meeting of the Kirkland City Council is on Tuesday, October 1st. And here's what's on the agenda. So on the business agenda, the council will be considering business license code amendments.
Yeah, they'll also be discussing the draft Transportation Strategic Plan.
Council will also consider a resolution opposing the Kroger-Albertsons merger.
And they will be looking at Sound Cities Association board and committee appointments.
And Kate, what's on the study session before the business meeting?
Well, council will hold a joint meeting with the senior council to discuss accomplishments and older adult needs in the community.
Yeah, and they'll also receive a briefing on the fire and park impact fees.
Yes, and as you know, the council meetings are streamed live on the city's YouTube, Facebook, and website. So there's a lot of opportunities to see it live or see it after it's recorded.
That's right.
That's right, yeah.
Hey, as we wrap up National Preparedness Month, we encourage everyone to get involved in community preparation efforts.
That's right. This week, we're talking about building a social network with family, friends, and neighbors. It's a very smart, collective way to be prepared.
Yeah, and if you want some tips and tricks on how to do that, check out our Let's Chat video
that sounds
on
fun.
how neighbors can work together. Plus, find helpful tips and resources on our website links, of course, in the show notes.
Yeah, let's chat.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's chat.
Let's talk about it.
Let's
That's
talk
right
about
up your
preparedness.
alley, right?
Do you have ideas on how to improve ways to get around Kirkland, I ask?
Jetpacks?
Oh.
Sorry.
Drones.
Is that a rhetorical question? Drones? Yeah. Ooh.
We're kind of science fiction nerds.
Yeah.
So we tend to think out there a little bit.
And we are talking 20 years. So
Yeah, there you
sky
go.
is the limits on what may be possible.
So if you want to join me in advocating for jetpacks or Jim advocating for drones, the city has published our draft transportation strategic plan, and we want your feedback.
Yes. Help us create a safer, more connected transportation system by leaving a comment on our website or sharing your thoughts at an upcoming city
Good
council
stuff.
meeting.
And maybe sometimes you don't let reality get in the way.
I know.
Oh.
Like,
Maybe you just throw some ideas
No,
out
that's
there.
that's our job. Yeah.
Willy
Star
Wonka.
Trek,
Yeah.
teleporters.
Willy
We'll figure it
Wonka
out.
pneumatic tubes just all throughout the
David,
city.
you brought it this
I
morning.
know.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this one. Let's go.
I like that you have a notebook with these ideas.
Yeah.
Prepared.
Well, hang on. I have some other ones.
Hey, a few upcoming events for you to check out. Africans on the East Side Fashion Show is upon us.
Should
will
be a good time,
It's
yeah.
going to be amazing. This will be Saturday, October 12th at the Peter Kirk Community Center.
And a reminder about the costume swap Saturday, September 28th at City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, we have our eye on
I'm like, gosh, do I need to dress up like Gwendolyn?
it.
Oh.
I mean,
Little John,
Little John.
maybe.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
We do have our eye out there for that.
Yeah.
Fox, the
Yeah.
Robin Hood Fox from the Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, such a
Such a
classic.
classic.
Robin Hood and Little
We
John
gotta-
running through
yeah,
the
we're going to have to do something. We may have to do like a show or something.
Okay, all right. Robin Hood special.
Yes.
Anyway,
And of course, that brings us to our 5 over 5. That would be 5 questions and what is sure to be, thanks to yours truly, over 5 minutes with our very special guest, Antionette Smith. Welcome, Antionette.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Yay.
yeah.
So now you are a human services coordinator at our fair city, and we're super eager to hear about that. And you're here to talk about an amazing event, the health fair.
The most amazing event.
I love that.
Indeed.
Yes.
So tell us about what a human services coordinator does.
It's a good question. I'm still figuring that out.
You gotta love those
Learn
jobs
as we go.
when your job is rich enough,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that it's an adventure every day.
Absolutely. And I
There you
think
go.
that's the best. I think I have one of the best jobs here at the
Yeah.
city.
yeah.
So as a coordinator, I'm one of 4 here at the city.
Oh.
And I specifically have a focus on equity.
Oh, great!
So all things equity in processes and in services that are provided within the city.
Yeah.
So that's my overarching job, but I think the best part of it is relationship building. So I do a lot of work out in the community, meeting new nonprofits, BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, people
Yeah.
of color, by and for organizations. So I get to meet people.
Yeah, you get to meet people that are really doing
Yeah.
such
Yeah.
amazing.
Really
work.
meaningful work.
Amazing work and amazing people.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
So now, while you're coordinating all that work, my understanding also is that you get to give out some money.
We do, which is the best part. And it's not my money, so it makes it a lot easier. Yeah, so every 2 years, City of Kirkland has a budget that they work on, and part of that budget is human services funding. So we do this process with 16 other cities across the north, east, and south King County, and it's one unified process of applications for nonprofits to apply for funding. So this happens to be the year that we're doing that, and we actually, with our Human Services Commission, just wrapped up our review of
Okay.
about 128 applications.
cow.
Yeah,
You know, I
yeah.
feel like I've watched this program kind of flourish before my eyes. And, major shout out to the Kirkland City Council because they fund it, and every year it seems to get more robust and very thoughtful in how you're disseminating all the funds.
Absolutely, and we have a really great Human Services Commission that is
yes.
very thoughtful. Eight volunteers
Yeah.
of your community members who take part in this. So, and staff here get to guide them through that process.
Yeah.
And I also worked on the other side as a commissioner in the city of Redmond. So that
We have to talk about that.
yeah, we can talk about that.
So thank you for pointing that out, Antionette. Our Human Services Commission plays a critical role with the council in giving guidance for you guys. But now I want to ask a quick question because you said something that, as a policy wonk, that I find to be particularly interesting.
Wonk alert.
Wonk alert. You have a universal application for all the cities. Tell us about that.
We do. Online, we use this little thing called Share One app.
Yeah.
And that's hosted by the city of Redmond. So
Yeah.
they really kind of oversee that. And nonprofits are able to go online and fill out this simplified as much as possible. This
Yeah.
is a pretty complicated and can be really restrictive process for
Yeah.
a lot of nonprofits. So this is our way of trying to make that easier and kind of ease up the burden on organizations to do this work. So yeah, it's one unified process, and it's kind of one-stop shop for nonprofit applications.
Well, major kudos to you and your teams, because making the connection between the groups that desperately need resources and the resources as easy as possible, I would think would be like a mission critical element of your work.
Yeah, and we can always do more. That's part of our work. It
Yeah.
continues. How can we make these processes more equitable? And we try to do as much hands-on with our community organizations to get through that process as
Sure.
well.
Now, do you guys communicate about who's doing what where and try to figure out how everything interacts with each other? Like what services are being provided in what area of the region?
So within our team and within regionally, we have meetings north and east.
Yeah.
King County cities meet. So we're seeing Redmond, Issaquah, Sammamish. Sometimes we'll see Shoreline in there.
Wow.
And we have regular meetings and we talk about where are the gaps and how can we work together to fill those gaps.
Oh, that's just
Nice.
wonderful to hear, because how governments work together in this kind of rising to the level of the challenges that we face
That's right.
with making sure everybody is healthy and happy and prosperous is a wonderful thing to know, because there is so much to share. Like we all have similar issues, but sometimes that kind of collaboration can help close a gap.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as much as we can leverage our resources, there's still so much need in the community.
Yeah.
So
I
you know,
can imagine.
the ask this year is almost 6 million of
Wow.
requests in grant funding.
Wow.
So, and our base budget is not that.
Not that.
Yeah.
So are you seeing every year more requests?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, it's wonderful that we have this program to help meet that need.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the health fair coming up. But before we do, we have a couple of fun questions.
I'm
Ready?
ready. I'm ready. Embracing myself.
First fun question is how did you come to the city of Kirkland?
Great question.
Yeah.
So I mentioned a few minutes ago, I was a human services commissioner at the city of Redmond,
Yeah.
where I reside.
Yes.
So that was coming off of a career in nursing. I spent about 10
Oh,
years
very
and
nice.
took some time off to kind of figure out what's my next direction in my career and my work. So during that time, I decided I was going to volunteer to kind of get a taste of what's out there.
Yeah.
And being a volunteer on the commission was one of them, and it really gave me a lot of information and knowledge about
Interesting.
nonprofits.
Wow, I love this. We're always espousing on our show the opportunities folks have to jump into civic life. And getting on a board or commission is really a wonderful path. In fact, so many of our council members have done that. It was super interesting to hear that was your path. How long were you on the Human Services Commission in Redmond?
I just stepped off last year after 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
so I was
Great. Good for you.
simultaneously doing this work and working with our commission here. So I get to I have the honor of being the liaison because
Oh,
it's really
great.
a passion of mine. So yeah, and I also did some volunteer work with Friends of Youth at
Oh,
the
nice.
Landing way back in the day when that Landy was
Yeah.
in Redmond. So that
Wonderful
was,
organization.
Yeah, it was great.
Great
it was
stuff.
Great.
So, Antionette, does the Human Services Commission in Redmond do similar things as in Kirkland?
Absolutely. I mean, I think what was great is I got to bring that knowledge into our commission to kind of align those processes. And yeah, it's very similar. I mean, I'm a little biased. I think our work here is really great and really innovative, and we're
Nice.
kind of pushing forward to really fine tune that equity lens.
Yeah,
'Cause that's really important.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now you're on the Human Service Commission in Redmond, and
Yes.
you're thinking, oh, I really like this work. What happens next?
So I decided to go back to school
Oh.
in my
yeah.
old year, an old lady
Wise.
of 40
We
something.
call it wisdom. We
There.
call it wisdom.
Yes, absolutely. So went back to school, went to undergrad, got my degree there in health studies, and
Wow.
then went on to UW School of Social Work.
Oh, bravo.
And was
So you
in
got a
a
master's.
master's in social work and also a certificate from Evans School, certificate in nonprofit management.
Oh,
so,
bravo.
Nice.
And that was all during the pandemic.
Oh,
So
golly.
probably about 2/3 of that was online.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, that is really...
That's intense.
Productive.
Yeah, way to
Yeah.
go. I
So
was
you-
not doing that during the
During the
pandemic. I was
pandemic.
watching a lot of Netflix. So good
Yeah.
on you. Yeah.
So, right from the University of Washington to the city of Kirkland?
Absolutely. In my last probably month of school,
Wow.
I started looking for a job and had some really great connections from the work that I did on the commission in Redmond, and was able to hear about this position opening up.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
So great.
So great. So, like nonprofit management leveraged into working with nonprofits here at the city.
Yeah, which was really interesting because I had seen myself on the nonprofit side
Yeah.
and not necessarily on the funder side.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I realized that there's opportunity there
Yeah.
to really push some change
Yeah.
in how we do those
Yeah.
processes.
Well, and it's so great that you have an like intimate knowledge of how those organizations work and run and like all of that. Like it probably just really makes being on the funding side that much more effective.
Yeah, and I think my nursing background as well.
Oh, sure.
And just as a queer Chicana growing up and having had access to these human services and food access and medical care for myself, for my kids, when I wasn't able to
Nice.
access
Wow.
those
Yeah.
things. So yeah, deep knowledge.
I have this theory that if you follow your heart and your passion, the forces of good will coalesce around you and help you on your path.
Well,
That's my theory.
I feel really fortunate. I think there's something to be said
Yeah.
for that because I
Yeah.
never saw myself here, and I can't see myself anywhere
Oh,
else now.
that's wonderful.
I love
That's
that.
That's
really
so
wonderful.
great.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Do you have a favorite thing about the city of Kirkland?
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever worked for a place that's so like accessible to really great things. You can walk down our little hill that we have. We're sitting on top of this little hill and get to walk down to the beautiful water, take a stroll.
Yes.
There's this really beautiful culture here of the walk and talks.
Yes, I know it
And
well.
Yeah.
I see you all too from my space walking out in front. So I think that's really a unique part of this city. So not just the city of Kirkland, but working at City Hall. It's really great. And I work with amazing people.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm really lucky.
I share that passion. We are literally and figuratively the city on a hill. And there is a culture, I completely agree with you. We walk down Lake Washington Boulevard, we walk everywhere. We have walk and talk meetings, and the fact that our campus is in our beautiful downtown is another wonderful element. So thank you. Yeah, we share that. Okay, so you're here to talk about an amazing event, the Health Fair.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
This is our 4th year
Wow.
having
Nice.
that health fair here in the city of Kirkland. That started back in 2021.
Okay.
And it, like many things, was a product of the pandemic, right? And,
Yeah.
and that need to access vaccinations and just recognizing across identities and communities that was not equitable.
Yes.
And so understanding that challenge, knowing my parents didn't have a computer. Most folks who needed a vaccination had to have a computer
Oh,
to,
yeah.
to
That's
sign
right.
up and,
Okay.
and to find those. So we really were thinking about like how do we fill those gaps here at the city of
Yeah.
Kirkland, because even though this is a really affluent area
Yes.
and that's kind of the perception, there are pockets here that
Oh,
of
of
folks
course.
who need to have additional access to those really great services. So
And of course, the success of the event is confirmation of that. Right.
right,
So many people-
absolutely. Yeah. And so that first year, we partnered with KCPN was one of our big supporters on that.
And who is that now?
That's King County Promotours Network.
Ah, yes.
And
Wonderful.
Yeah, so they were really critical in that how we structured this. This was my first endeavor in this kind of event, so They worked with us.
I'm sorry. What does the KCPN do?
Well, so KCPN, it's King County Promotores Network. Promotores meaning loosely translated to promoters, and they go out in the community and share information. Especially they focus on Latino communities, those who are Spanish speaking, and they also work with Portuguese speaking Brazilian folks too. So they really get people information and access. They do other events as well, like this health fair. So they really brought that idea to the city of Kirkland.
And they make those critical connections.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So wonderful. They bring the idea. What happens next?
So we were able to secure some funding through the city. So American Rescue Plan Act funding. So we had some funds, and then we said, okay, let's do this thing, and we did. And that first event was on I like to say a gloomy, dark, rainy, typical Pacific Northwest day. And
that's on brand.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and as we do, we go out in the rain and the inclement weather.
Yes.
So, so we saw probably 200 to 300 people that day, but we had administered probably close to 200 COVID vaccinations.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, it was a great event. So, and so it was so successful, the city decided, let's do that again. And again.
And here we are again.
And so 2024, we have a brand new set of services available, but really wide variety. Last year we saw about 1,200 attendees.
Wow. Okay.
Holy cow.
Just over 1,200. And this year we anticipate somewhere around 1,500.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Where
That's
is
amazing.
So this is going to happen at Juanita High School.
Nice.
And it's coming up, right?
It's coming up Saturday, September 28th. We'll be there from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And you don't even have to worry about the rain.
No, it's going to be sunny and beautiful that day.
Yeah.
It's still
There you
outside.
go.
Yeah.
It's still outside.
We have indoor and outdoor services. So, but it will happen, rain or shine. We'll be there.
Love it.
Yeah, what kind of services can people look into here?
Yeah, we have a wide variety, anywhere from health screenings to vaccinations, childhood vaccinations, the most recent COVID updated vaccination, and flu shots. That's another really big one.
Oh, yeah.
Antionette, how young can parents bring children?
All ages. They're going to be available for all ages.
Ooh, even the wee ones,
Even
little babies.
The wee babies.
We welcome them all. And
Nice.
so this is through Washington State Department of Health Caravan, and they are recommending that you register online.
Okay.
Yeah, walk-ins will be
accommodated, but
yes,
it's like
absolutely.
best to register ahead of time if you can.
So that we ensure that there is enough supplies for everybody.
Nice.
Well, speaking of supplies for everybody, I heard a rumor that there might be bike helmets.
Bike helmet?
Absolutely.
Hey.
And those are for kids and adults.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. So we have the range. One of our own coordinators, youth coordinator, Reggie Shibiger, will be there to assist
great.
folks, and
Nice.
and they'll help with the fitting as well.
So can I get one that has the dinosaur?
Oh, yeah, the little spikes.
Mohawk.
Yeah, the Mohawk one.
Just for you, David. I'll start constructing that
with
tonight.
construction paper
Yeah.
and glue
Handmade,
stick.
actually. It'll be
Yeah.
handmade.
All right.
That's so great. Now, I also heard a rumor there may be some festival-like things, like food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's going to be free food, entertainment. There'll be
so it's like a
raffles,
party.
and
Oh.
giveaways. It is a party, and
That's fun.
it is beautiful.
Wow.
It is
Yeah.
beautiful. We see people from all over, as far as Eastern Washington.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and we are just happy to see everybody there.
That's amazing.
Well, kudos to you going from 200 to 1,200. That's what we
Yeah.
call growth.
yes.
Yeah, and I really think that is King County Promotores Network and
Yes,
the work that
bravo.
they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because we
amazing.
really one of the best parts of that was we started it internally, and it was put out into the community.
Yes.
So we are just hands off, kind of. We're
Like
supporters.
supporting,
Here's the
uplifting,
money, do the thing,
make magic
and,
happen.
And they've really done this.
They do such wonderful work.
Yeah.
You are all growing a garden. You're just growing a wonderful connection.
Healthy garden. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
So thank you.
With dinosaur helmets. What? Oh, sorry.
An event not to be missed, everybody. And
Yes.
further information, including the registration, perhaps, in the show notes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We have one more question.
Go ahead, hit me. I'm ready.
Antionette, what are you reading, watching, listening to, crafting, making, dreaming?
It's a compound question.
Yeah, it's growing.
yeah. Any of those options. Feel free.
I'll try to say on just one item.
okay.
I
Okay.
do lots of things, but I'll do one item. So this year I took up watercoloring, and so
Awesome.
yeah, I mean that's really has been my way of like rejuvenating, resting,
Yeah.
Yeah,
kind
good
of
for you.
taking some time to myself and focusing. So yeah, I've been teaching myself how to watercolor.
Wow. So
Very
like
nice.
just like no class or anything, just like you're just dabbling.
Oh no, yeah, no, I don't want anybody telling me how to do the thing. I just do the thing.
That's amazing.
Well,
Very
we
cool.
talked briefly about watercoloring yesterday, and Antionette brought in a couple of her renderings, and they're just beautiful.
They really are.
Thank you. Yeah, one of them, I know you can't see it, but one of them is an egret. We took a trip to Bodega Bay in California,
Whoa.
and we saw an egret out in the marshy area.
Love
and
it.
what I did not capture in my picture is it was eating crabs.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
And
Nice.
it was a little brutal.
brutal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was nature.
Yeah,
was,
nature's
yeah,
lit.
circle of
Yeah.
life, circle of life. So
Okay.
Well, I don't know. You might want to teach a class because
I
this
think
is,
so.
This is really great stuff.
I think so.
That's
My
amazing.
watercolors would consist of maybe two shapes. I don't know.
Well, I am so with you. When you noted about the watercoloring, the image of what I would actually
Yes,
paint isn't what I'm looking at.
I know.
well, see, and this is why I don't let anyone try to teach me because
Yeah,
I'm just like
bravo.
I
Yeah.
don't know any different.
Yeah.
Just let me do
Well, that's
my
really
thing.
great.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you. And love that.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, will you, Antionette, stick around for our pop quiz multiple choice trivia?
I would love to. Love trivia.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with this. One of these anches protects against viruses, while the others are placebo,
Okay.
which of course means two of these three options we just made up.
Okay.
We just made it.
Yeah.
We had
Alright.
some fun.
False. Yep. Mhm.
Well, I feel I have like a little
Little like inside
advantage
Okay.
over you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Probably.
I'll try to go
You
easy.
are,
I'll
you
try
are
to
a
go
nurse.
easy on you.
So, okay.
All right, we're going to jump right in. Option A, the first flu vaccine was widely available to the public in 1945 after scientists were able to successfully isolate the virus for the first time in the 1930s.
Okay. 1945, first
Those are the
vaccine.
key dates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Option B, the 1918 influenza pandemic, sometimes called the mother of pandemics, was the only one involving the influenza virus.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
1918.
Like it happened and then we figured it out, kind of thing. Okay.
That's option B. Now, option C, the word influenza comes from the medieval Latin word fluentia, which meant, quote, to be fluent in many ways of being.
Oh.
Very metaphysical.
Metaphysical.
Yeah. Like,
I know C is maybe usually not true, but
Fluentia.
it kind of sounds.
Yeah.
Once you throw in Latin,
Yeah.
then it's like, huh.
Throw a little Latin in anything, and you got to think about it. You got to think about it. Option C, influenza.
okay.
Oh my gosh, they all sound true and not true.
Trying to remember. It feels early for the first vaccine.
Oh, 45.
yeah. Wasn't it like Salk that did the first vaccine in the 60s or something?
Oh.
I only know because
That's
he's from Palm
interesting.
Springs, where I'm from. So he's a
I was
local
like,
celeb.
that's a name drop.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
How are we a New York Yankee fan if you're from Palm Springs?
My dad's family is from New York.
All right. All right. Just
All
checking
right.
on that.
You know, I have an idea.
Ooh,
Oh,
what is
okay.
it?
I mean, for me,
Yeah.
the mother of pandemics
Uh-huh.
is
Yeah.
kind of speaking to me.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right.
So,
That's the only one involving the flu.
Yeah.
Right.
Or the influenza.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be
Okay.
my guess.
This
All
does
right.
sort of feel like we would figure it out, not let it happen again, kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the Latin one. I think Kate, you're
Oh,
onto it.
okay. Okay.
Say
Maybe
anything
you
with
like-
an
I'm a
accent.
word
You like
person.
fluenza.
So,
I like fluenza.
You're over there casting spells.
yeah.
in Latin.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
the answer is actually option A.
Oh, wow.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
As was I.
Researchers at the time believed the flu to be a bacteria. Now, vaccines were ineffective until the discovery that the flu is actually a virus,
Okay.
leading to the first public flu vaccine in 1945.
Wow.
Okay.
There you go.
And did you know there is actually a record of 6 influenza pandemics throughout history?
Wow.
3 before and 3 after that 1918 pandemic. Researchers have learned that there are different strains of the flu virus, making efficacy of vaccines vary. Scientists and health organizations actually track and monitor what strains are in circulation and modify the vaccines accordingly.
Okay.
Antionette, thank you so much.
Thank you all. This has
Yes,
been
thank you.
absolutely delightful.
Well, we totally agree. Will you come back? We have to have you come back.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I love,
Awesome.
I
We've
love
had-
talking about my work.
Thank you so much.
See you at the Health and Wellness Fair this Saturday.
Yes. And that does it for this week, my friends. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Anthony Girardi for his behind-the-scenes magic.
Thank you, Anthony.
Our next episode is October 3rd. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.